1 Enoch, Ethiopic, Parallel Translations. Section 3. Chapters 72 through 82. The Book of the Heavenly Luminaries. Charles Chapter 72, Chapter 71 Lawrence. XCI. The Sun. XCI. 1 The Book of the Courses of the Luminaries of the Heaven. The relations of each, according to their classes, their dominion and their seasons, according to their names and places of origin, and according to their months, which are all. The holy angel, who was with me, who is their guide, showed me, and he showed me all their laws exactly as they are, and how it is. 1 Enoch, Ethiopic, Parallel Translations. Section 3. Chapters 72 through 82. The Book of the Heavenly Luminaries. Charles Chapter 72, Chapter 71 Lawrence. XCI. The Sun. XCI. 1 The Book of the Courses of the Luminaries of the Heaven. The relations of each, according to their classes, their dominion and their seasons, according to their names and places of origin, and according to their months, which are all. The holy angel, who was with me, who is their guide, showed me, and he showed me all their laws exactly as they are, and how it is with regard to all the years of the world to and unto eternity, till the new creation is accomplished which dureth till eternity. And this is the first law of the luminaries. The luminary, the sun, has its rising in the eastern portals of the heaven, 3, and its setting in the western portals of the heaven. And I saw 6 portals in which the sun rises, and 6 portals in which the sun sets, and the moon rises and sets in these portals, and the leaders of the stars and those whom they lead, 6 in the east and 6 in the west, and all following each other 4 in accurately corresponding order, also many windows to the right and left of these portals. And first goes forth the great luminary, named the sun, and his circumference is like the 5 circumference of the heaven, and he is quite filled with illuminating and heating fire. The chariot on which he ascends, the wind drives, and the sun goes down from the heaven and returns through the north in order to reach the east, and is so guided that he comes to the appropriate, lit, that, portal, and 6 shines in the face of the heaven. In this way he rises in the first month in the great portal, which 7 is the 4th, those 6 portals in the cast. And in that 4th portal from which the sun rises in the first month are 12 window openings, from which proceed a flame when they are opened in 8th season. When the sun rises in the heaven, he comes forth through that 4th portal 39 mornings in succession, and sets accurately in the 4th portal in the west of the heaven. And during this period the day becomes daily longer and the night nightly shorter to the 30th 10 morning. On that day the day is longer than the night by a 9th part, and the day amounts exactly to 10 parts and the night to 8 parts. And the sun rises from that 4th portal, and sets in the 4th and returns to the 5th portal of the east 30 mornings, and rises from it and sets in the 5th 12 portal. And then the day becomes longer by 2 parts and amounts to 11 parts, and the night 13 becomes shorter and amounts to 7 parts. And it returns to the east and enters into the 6th 14 portal, and rises and sets in the 6th portal 1 and 30 mornings on account of its sign. On that day the day becomes longer than the night, and the day becomes double the night, and the day 15 becomes 12 parts, and the night is shortened and becomes 6 parts. And the sun mounts up to make the day shorter and the night longer, and the sun returns to the east and enters into the 6th portal, and rises from it and sets 30 mornings. And when 30 mornings are accomplished, 17 the day decreases by exactly 1 part, and becomes 11 parts, and the night 7. And the sun goes forth from that 6th portal in the west, and goes to the east and rises in the 5th portal for 18:30 mornings, and sets in the west again in the 5th western portal. On that day the day decreases by 2 parts, and amounts to 10 parts and the night to 8 parts. And the sun goes forth from that 5th portal and sets in the 5th portal of the west, and rises in the 4th portal for 120 and 30 mornings on account of its sign, and sets in the west. On that day the day is equalized with the night, and becomes of equal length, and the night amounts to 9 parts and the day to 21 9 parts. And the sun rises from that portal and sets in the west, and returns to the east and rises 22:30 mornings in the third portal and sets in the west in the third portal. And on that day the night becomes longer than the day, and night becomes longer than night, and day shorter than day till the 30th morning, and the night amounts exactly to 10 parts and the day to 8:23 parts. And the sun rises from that third portal and sets in the third portal in the west and returns to the east, and for 30 mornings rises 24 in the second portal in the east, and in like manner sets in the second portal in the west of the heaven. And on that day the night amounts to 11:25 parts and the day to 7 parts. And the sun rises on that day from that second portal and sets in the west in the second portal, and returns to the east into the first portal for 1:30-26 mornings, and sets in the first portal in the west of the heaven. And on that day the night becomes longer and amounts to the double of the day, and the night amounts exactly to 12 parts and 27 the day to 6. And the sun has, therewith, traversed the divisions of his orbit and turns again on those divisions of his orbit, and enters that portal 30 mornings and sets also in the west 28 opposite to it. And on that night has the night decreased in length by a 9th part, and the night 29 has become 11 parts and the day 7 parts. And the sun has returned and entered into the second portal in the east, and returns on those his divisions of his orbit for 30 mornings, rising 30 and setting. And on that day the night decreases in length, and the night amounts to 10 parts 31 and the day to 8. And on that day the sun rises from that portal, and sets in the west, and returns to the east, and rises in the third portal for 1:30 mornings, and sets in the west of the heaven. 32 On that day the night decreases and amounts to 9 parts, and the day to 9 parts, and the night 33 is equal to the day and the year is exactly as to its days 364. And the length of the day and of the night, and the shortness of the day and of the night arise through the course 34 of the sun. These distinctions are made, lit. They are separated. So it comes that its course becomes 35 daily longer, and its course nightly shorter. And this is the law and the course of the sun, and his return as often as he returns 60 times and rises, that is the great luminary which is named the sun, 36 forever and ever. And that which, thus, rises is the great luminary, and is so named according to 37 its appearance, according as the Lord commanded. As he rises, so he sets and decreases not, and rests not, but runs day and night, and his light is sevenfold brighter than that of the moon, but as regards size they are both equal. 71. 71:1 The Book of the Revolutions of the Luminaries of Heaven, according to their respective classes, their respective powers, their respective periods, their respective names, the places where they commence their progress, and their respective months, which are all, the holy angel who was with me, explained to me, he who conducted them. The whole account of them, according to every year of the world forever, until a new work shall be effected, which will be eternal. 71:2 This is the first law of the luminaries. The sun, and the light arrive at the gates of heaven, which are on the east, and on the west of it at the western gates of heaven. 71:3 I beheld the gates whence the sun goes forth, and the gates where the sun sets. 71:4 In which gates also the moon rises and sets, and, I beheld, the conductors of the stars, among those who precede them. 6 gates were, at the rising, and 6 at the setting of the sun. 71:5 All these respectively, one after another, are on a level, and numerous windows are on the right and on the left sides of those gates. 71:6 First proceeds forth that great luminary, which is called the sun, the orb of which is as the orb of heaven, the whole of it being replete with splendid and flaming fire. 71:7 Its chariot, where it ascends, the wind blows. 71:8 The sun sets in heaven, and, returning by the north, to proceed towards the east, is conducted so as to enter by that gate, and illuminate the face of heaven. 71:9 In the same manner it goes forth in the first month by the great gate. 71 hours 10 minutes it goes forth through the fourth of those 6 gates, which are at the rising of the sun. 71 hours 11 minutes and in the fourth gate, through which the sun with the moon proceeds, in the first part of it, 76, there are 12 open windows, from which issues out a flame, when they are opened in their proper periods. 76, through which part of it, or, from which the sun rises in the first month. Nib. p. 168. 71 hours 12 minutes when the sun rises in heaven, it goes forth through this fourth gate 30 days, and by the fourth gate in the west of heaven on a level with it descends. 71 hours 13 minutes during that period the day is lengthened from the day, and the night curtailed from the night for 30 days. And then the day is longer by 2 parts than the night. 71 hours 14 minutes the day is precisely 10 parts, and the night is 8. 71 hours 15 minutes the sun goes forth through this fourth gate, and sets in it, and turns to the fifth gate during 30 days, after which it proceeds from, and sets in, the fifth gate. 71 hours 16 minutes then the day becomes lengthened by a second portion, so that it is 11 parts, while the night becomes shortened, and is only 7 parts. 71 hours 17 minutes the sun, now, returns to the east, entering into the sixth gate, and rising and setting in the sixth gate 31 days, on account of its signs. 71 hours 18 minutes at that period the day is longer than the night, being twice as long as the night, and become 12 parts. 71 hours 19 minutes but the night is shortened, and becomes 6 parts. Then the sun rises up, that the day may be shortened, and the night lengthened. 71 hours 20 minutes and the sun returns toward the east entering into the sixth gate, where it rises and sets for 30 days. 71 hours 21 minutes when that period is completed, the day becomes shortened precisely 1 part, so that it is 11 parts, while the night is 7 parts. 71 hours 22 minutes then the sun goes from the west, from that sixth gate, and proceeds eastwards, rising in the fifth gate for 30 days, and setting again westwards in the fifth gate of the west. 71 hours 23 minutes at that period the day becomes shortened 2 parts, and is 10 parts, while the night is 8 parts. 71 hours 24 minutes then the sun goes from the fifth gate, as it sets in the fifth gate of the west, and rises in the fourth gate for 31 days, on account of its signs, setting in the west. 71 hours 25 minutes at that period the day is made equal with the night, and, being equal with it, the night becomes 9 parts, and the day 9 parts. 71 hours 26 minutes then the sun goes from that gate, as it sets in the west, and returning to the east proceeds by the third gate for 30 days, setting in the west of the third gate. 71 hours 27 minutes at that period the night is lengthened from the day during 30 mornings, and the day is curtailed from the day during 30 days, the night being 10 parts precisely, and the day 8 parts. 71 hours 28 minutes the sun now goes from the third gate, as it sets in the third gate in the west, but returning to the east, it proceeds by the second gate of the east for 30 days. 71 hours 29 minutes in like manner also it sets in the second gate in the west of heaven. 71 hours 30 minutes at that period the night is 11 parts, and the day 7 parts. 71 hours 31 minutes then the sun goes at that time from the second gate, as it sets in the second gate in the west, but returns to the east, proceeding by the first gate, for 31 days. 71 hours 32 minutes and sets in the west in the first gate. 71 hours 33 minutes at that period that night is lengthened as much again as the day. 71 hours 34 minutes it is 12 parts precisely, while the day is 6 parts. 71 hours 35 minutes the sun has, thus, completed its beginnings, and a second time goes round from these beginnings. 71 hours 36 minutes into that first gate it enters for 30 days, and sets in the west, in the opposite part of heaven. 71 hours 37 minutes. At that period the night is contracted in its length a fourth part, that is, one portion, and becomes 11 parts. 71 hours 38 minutes. The day is 7 parts. 71 hours 39 minutes. Then the sun returns, and enters into the second gate of the east. 71 hours 40 minutes. It returns by these beginnings 30 days, rising and setting. 71 hours 41 minutes. At that period the night is contracted in its length, it becomes 10 parts, and the day 8 parts. Then the sun goes from that second gate, and sets in the west, but returns to the east, and rises in the east, in the third gate. 31 days, setting in the west of heaven. 71 hours 42 minutes. At that period the night becomes shortened. It is 9 parts. And the night is equal with the day. The year is precisely 364 days. 71 hours 43 minutes. The lengthening of the day and night, and the contraction of the day and night, are made to differ from each other by the progress of the sun. 71 hours 44 minutes. By means of this progress the day is daily lengthened, and the night greatly shortened. 71 hours 45 minutes. This is the law and progress of the sun, and its turning when it turns back, turning during 60 days, 77, and going forth. This is the great everlasting luminary, that which he names the sun forever and ever. 77. That is, it is 60 days in the same gates, viz. 30 days twice every year. Lawrence, p. 97. 71 hours 46 minutes. This also is that which goes forth a great luminary, and which is named after its peculiar kind, as God commanded. 71 hours 47 minutes. And thus it goes in and out, neither slackening nor resting, but running on in its chariot by day and by night. It shines with a seventh portion of light from the moon, 78, but the dimensions of both are equal. 78, it shines with dot from the moon. Or, its light is 7 times brighter than that of the moon. Nib, p. 171. The Aramaic texts more clearly describe how the moon's light waxes and wanes by a half of a 7th part each day. Here in the Ethiopic version, the moon is thought of as 2 halves, each half being divided into 7 parts. Hence, the 14 portions of 72 to 910. Nib, p. 171.